We begin with Vice President Kamala Harris at the border, not answering questions on why it took her so long to get there and why she's not meeting with border communities and families impacted by crime. The vice president insists she did not decide to go after Republican pressure. Two top aides for Vice President Kamala Harris quit. They oversee her travel and her venues that she visits. Look who's back with us, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. So she went to El Paso where the border wall works?
Yeah, isn't that a great choice? Look, I'm glad she came. Maybe she talked to people that could inform her about what's going on. But El Paso actually does have a pretty good fence that has worked. The place she should have gone is McAllen, the Rio Grande Valley, or Laredo. I wish she'd gone someplace where the actual immigrants are crossing at greater numbers.
You know, the vice president is saying she went there because that's where the Trump administration launched their bad policies on the border, like remain in Mexico. Is that true?
I don't know what her motivation was. It's just odd to me that it took her so long to get there, and that they've basically undone everything that President Trump had done to stem the crisis that we had under Obama, and now we're back to something even worse than we had 4 years ago.
You know, Kamala Harris was accused of dodging questions today, and she kind of snapped back at a reporter when she was asked, why did it take you so long to visit? Let's watch Kamala Harris here. Watch this.
How do you respond to Republicans who say you should have visited an area along the border that is experiencing more acute immigration problems, such as the Rio Grande Valley?
So first of all, what is happening here in El Paso really is, in many ways, highlights many of the facets on the issue of immigration.
Okay, we've got news coming in. This visit, sir, seems to be undercut by this. More than a dozen House Republicans today warning the Biden administration don't end Trump's border policy, Title 42. There's indications they're going to stop that. That lets border officials stop illegals due to the pandemic. Is that coming down? What do you say?
You know what? We're already suing over this, but the reality is that change in policy will just make the border even worse than it is. And they've undone almost every Trump policy, from catch and release to the stay in Mexico and allowing Border Patrol to focus on their job. They've undone almost everything that works. And this is sort of the last piece of the puzzle to put us in a completely open border.
You know, former President Donald Trump is set to visit the border where the crisis is. There's word that he's saying he's going to soon make an announcement about 2024. Is he going to make an announcement at the border next week?
You know, I don't know. I will be there, and I'm excited that he's coming. Even if he doesn't make an announcement, at least he's going to be highlighting the crisis that we have, the problems that are getting worse. And I really do. He obviously motivated the vice president to at least show up, which keeps the issue alive and in the news, even for the mainstream media.
So 3 states, Republican governors, Idaho, Nebraska, Florida, sending their law enforcement to Texas to help with the border. We keep hearing about home invasions, break-ins at ranches, carjackings, elementary school lockdowns because of car chases and robberies at the border. Let's listen to what officials in the border states of Texas and Arizona now say. Watch this.
You have people that have been convicted of arson, rapes, other crimes in Arizona state prisons, Texas state prisons, prisons all over this country. ICE is refusing to pick them up. They're refusing to be deported. That means they're getting released into our community. There are so many people right now coming into our country, we're losing track of who they are. There's lots of gotaways. You know, there's people coming in from, on the terror watch list that have been apprehended.
Here lately, they've been getting out and bailing out by our local elementary schools. So we've had to put the local elementary schools on lockdown, and we had to bring more law enforcement in to search for these individuals. 90% of these cars that we're catching now, we're finding loaded firearms in them.
That's tough stuff. Did the vice president say anything about that today?
Not that I heard of. And as a matter of fact, I'm not sure if she actually met with many people that are experiencing the type of difficulties that are common along the border, which is exactly what we just heard, which was people breaking into property and destroying property and causing fear among people along the border, knowing that the cartels are getting a greater foothold along the border and in our state and really in our country. So that type of fear is creating a lot of difficulty for people along the border.
Okay. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, thank you so much for joining us.